If you're a landscaping business owner and you still think that ChatGPT is just used for kids cheating on homework, then your competitors might already be ahead of you. But that's okay, because in today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how you can use ChatGPT in order to book more leads, save more time, and ultimately make more money for your landscaping business. My name is Nick, and I've added hundreds of thousands of dollars to landscape businesses' revenue. You can see that this company went from $600,000 to $1.5 million in estimates that they were booking because of how many leads they had. This company doubled their interactions on their Google business profile. This one doubled their calls and their site clicks. And then this company, in only 2 weeks, once we started working with them in September, they went from an average of almost 30 position on Google to about 13. So we doubled their position in 2 weeks. This is a series where I'm showing landscaper businesses how to get work, do work, and then get paid and grow using AI automation tools, because I know it gets overwhelming. There's a new tool every week, so I'm trying to show you how you can implement this into your business without becoming a computer nerd. In the last video, we talked about getting work, so we went over basics of search engine optimization and how you can audit and build out your website. We talked about what makes a good prompt, and then we even built a reusable AI asset that you could save to your computer that you use for all of your AI tools in the future. If you want to download all of these prompts for free, you can click the link in my description, and I have an entire AI automation landscaping playbook for you to go through. It's complete with pictures and all the prompts and step by step. And if you have any questions, you can always reach out to me at nick@redwaterrev.com. So the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to expand upon or showcase the AI estimate assistant that we built in the last episode. So if you've been living under a rock for the past couple of years, that's totally okay, because you're probably hard at work running your business. But ChatGPT is a large language model tool. It's basically a hyper intelligent toddler. So it has all the PhDs in the world, but you have to be really specific with it. So when you see those really generic posts on Facebook that say, hey, check out our landscaping, check out our blah 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 service and whatever, and it sounds super generic, it's because ChatGPT basically takes the average of the entire internet and it distills it down. So instead of having a personality, it's just a lukewarm version of what it could be. What we want to do is we want to create documents and give this hyper intelligent toddler lots of context about our business. That way we can use it effectively. The first thing that we need to do is know our prices, and we need to put all of that into a document. So let's say that in order to find out how many mulch bags we need, we do 0.167 times length times width divided by 2. That gives us the number of bags that we need. We then multiply the number of bags by 7, and then that gives us the cost that we're going to charge the client in our quote. So by having documents of all of your vendors and all of your prices, we can create a custom GPT. Now this does take the pro version. It's only $20 a month, and it is super worth it, because if you charge $150 per hour or even less than that, then the amount of time that you're saving makes up for it alone, not to mention the fact that it's going to make you lots of money. So we already did this in the last video, but I'm going to come over here to our quote copy estimator. If you're doing this for the first time, you can check out the other video, but basically what you do is you come over here, you click explore, and then you go to create GPTs, and then this brings you up to this menu here. On the left side, you can give it instructions and you can upload your files that we have created, and on the right side it generates the output, and then you just go back and forth and you tweak it as much as you can. But since we've already done that already, I'm just going to go to the one that we created in the last episode, and I'm going to paste in this example of a project. So let's say that these are my notes. I have my project summary, my scope of work, and then some access notes. I'm just going to hit enter, and this custom GPT is already trained on my tone of voice that we did in the last episode, as well as my pricing document. So it's going to give us an internal cost estimate, and it will give us a polished client-facing quote. So you can see that it pulled information from our document, and it is starting to compile this quote together. Now I've run this a handful of times for the exact same quote just to see the consistency, and it's accurate within about $300. They're always giving pretty much the same number. And if you have any issues with this, then of course you can just correct it in the other view that we were looking at earlier, and you can change it at a system level, or you can just say, hey, regenerate this part of it. You can see that we don't even have a price in our sheet for the weed barrier fabric, and it just pulled some sort of industry average, and then it came up with a reasonable quote to include in our estimate. It then breaks down everything internally for us to know, and then it talks about what we can charge the client based on our sheets versus what it's going to cost us. So it even generates a client-facing quote copy. It writes it in the tone of voice that we want. And of course, if you don't like any of this, you can kind of tweak some of this beginning stuff, but it outlines the scope of work. It frames it as an investment. It talks about a timeline, and then it lets you know, like, hey man, this is how we work, this is how we do our things. So you can copy paste this into Jobber or into QuickBooks or whatever invoicing software you use. Or if you wanted to get really technical, you can come over here to make.com and you can automate all of this. So let's say that we create it in QuickBooks. We can send the QuickBook estimates, update our rows, and then we can go to PandaDoc and create a really professional, luxurious looking, signable, clickable, payable invoice if we're dealing with some more high quality clients and you wanted to save even more time. But if all you did is this, you're probably still saving yourself 4 to 5 hours a week or $700 in opportunity costs. So now that we saved you tons of time, we can come over here and build a AI chatbot voice agent and a missed call text back. So one of the big reasons that many landscaper companies lose out on leads is because people call and then you're on the tractor, you're on the excavator, you're on the lawnmower, and you don't get back to them, so they call your competitors. There's a handful of studies that have been done where if you make contact with somebody within 5 minutes of them opting in, you 5x the likelihood of getting a sale. So you can get 5 times as many sales just by reaching out to people faster. So the tool that we're going to use is a system called Go High Level. It does cost money just like everything else in business, but it's an all-in-one AI-powered marketing platform. I'm going to show you exactly how to set things up, and you don't have to use all the features, but if you did, it is more than worth the money that you spend. You can pretty much automate your entire business with just this. So we're going to need a handful of things before we go into Go High Level, and that's going to be our website that's well optimized and a list of questions and answers. We're also going to need to purchase a phone number, which I won't be doing in this video, but I'm going to show you how to do it and then set up the missed call and voice agents. So first thing, if you watched the last video, you know how to have a super high quality Google readable website. We're going to use that website in our training, but we also could use a list of questions and answers. So again, I'm going to go into our handy dandy ChatGPT and I'm going to say, I'm building an AI agent for my landscaping business. It will answer questions and help book appointments, all done through Go High Level. Give me a list of the most commonly asked questions for the city of, I made this up, Arkansas, which is about 30 minutes west of Hot Springs. Generate the questions and answers. Make sure you're specific enough to be of help without revealing pricing or other business sensitive information. Now this is going to be helpful because once we have that document, we could save it as a text file or as a doc file. And then once we start to build our agent, we can upload various files, various websites, etc. So that way we can train and begin to iterate on our agent. So we're going to take all of these questions and we're going to copy paste them into a Google document. Once we have that Google document, we want to save the Google document, and then we're going to go into our Go High Level system and begin to upload the information. And of course, if this is giving incorrect information, you can always add to it, you can remove for it. But again, we're trying to go for the 80-20 here. We want to do 20% of the work and get 80% of the results, because not a ton of customers are going to be sitting here having a full-length conversation. You just want to answer those basic questions. That way you can start warming them up and get in the door for the sale. So when you log into Go High Level, you're met with this dashboard here. You can connect your Google business profile, your Facebook, your website, and then all sorts of other things. But what we're interested in right now is we're going to come over here on the left to AI agents. We're going to click create your first conversation agent. Now that we're here, we're going to say that we want to use this for general Q&A, and it will preload some default information. We're going to say that this is a test landscaping bot. We're going to set it to autopilot so it responds automatically, and you could choose which communication platforms you want it to be on. Our business name is I Made This Up. You can even change how soon it responds. So if you wanted to add it on a 10-second delay, make it look like you're a little bit busy and you pull out your phone and you answer them, you could do that as well. And you could set the maximum number of messages to 3 or something like that if you're scared of the AI messing something up. But next we're going to click save, and we're going to go over to bot training. Once we're in bot training, you can see that we have this knowledge base here, and we can select knowledge bases that we already have. But in order to create one, we're going to click this create new button, and we're going to give it a name. I know this kind of looks complicated. It can look overwhelming, but really all we're doing is we're adding some information, either web crawler, FAQ, tables, rich text, file upload, and we're going to click these buttons, upload it, and just go back to the conversations tab. So don't overthink this too much. What I have here is a temporary document that I went ahead and downloaded, and I'm going to upload it. I will click upload, and as you can see, it will process. This will take a couple of minutes, but once the AI fully reads through it, it will encode the information in a way that the chatbot can read, and then you will be ready to test. So now that our information is processed, we can come back to this tab over here, and we can select our knowledge base. Now from here, you can see that we have one file uploaded. I didn't do any website crawler or anything like that. You can see that we have one file uploaded. I didn't upload anything else. So our bot isn't gonna be super high quality, but we can begin testing now. So I'm gonna pretend to be a customer and say, hey there, can you guys do landscape lighting and sprinkler install? The AI bot's gonna wait a little bit. It's gonna search that database, and then it's going to give us a response. And you can see that in our document, we never mentioned anything about a sprinkler installation, so the AI got this wrong. Now, if you like this response, you can click correct in order to train it. And if you don't like it, you can click this, and you can give the proper answer that you would rather it have, and then you save it to the test knowledge base. Now we're pretty much going to follow a very similar process for the voice AI agent, but this is a lot more difficult to fine tune, and I have found personally that in most landscaping businesses, you don't actually need a voice agent. It's better for you to run a missed call text back, so that way you can have a real human on the phone, because this is such a person-to-person industry. So having the text agent is amazing because it helps you save those leads. Having the call agent isn't nearly as important, but I'm going to go ahead and show you the basics just for the sake of completion. So as you can see here, we have all of this stuff that kind of manually it pulled from our business information and started filling it out. And then you can see the different costs that we have. You can give it an initial image, and then you can even test the character that you want to read. So let's say we want to go with Christopher.
Chris McGuire here from Chicago. I turn complex ideas into clear, engaging stories, a voice for many situations. Let's bring your vision to life. Chris McGuire.
So you can see that the AI agents are actually pretty good. Women tend to like talking to women more, and men tend to like talking to women more. So by using a woman voice, you tend to get a little bit better. So I'm going to go ahead and click save. And then the next thing that we're going to do is go to the agent goals. Again, using our same knowledge base, we can feed it information, we can train it on information, and then we can tell the AI agent what you need to collect. So for our purposes in the landscaping, we probably want name, email, and address, and maybe a contact issue like a summary of the job. And then we can also trigger some workflows. So let's say the minute they hang up, they get an email and it looks like it's written by the founder, and it says, hey Susan, just got this message, excited to work on this project for you. Are you free Wednesday at 3 o'clock? And it can even sync to your calendar to make sure that it's booking Susan in a time slot that you're actually available to meet her for an estimate. And then finally, we're going to go and we're going to sync up our phone number that we haven't purchased yet, but we go ahead and hook it up, and then we can start testing it. And just like we did with the text agent, we can test our voice agent, we can give it feedback, and we can work with it and update our knowledge base until it's at a place that we like. Back over here to our left-hand panel, we're going to go to settings, we're going to go to phone system, and from here we can purchase a phone number. Now, there are tons of videos explaining how to purchase the phone number, so you could just search Go High Level AP2 verification or Go High Level phone number purchase. So from here we can go to add phone number. We can add a phone number for SMS and phone calls. You could choose the different country that you want. You can click whatever price that you want, and then you can go ahead and click proceed to buy. From there, you're gonna have to do a handful of confirmations to make sure that you are a legit business and you're not spamming anybody. And like I said, if you have any questions on that, you could just search Google. If enough of you guys ask, I'll just show you how to do it on this channel. From there, we can come over here into voice, and what we're gonna set up is a missed call text back. Now, missed call text back is important because when the customer calls you, they're thinking about the problem. So you don't want them to land on a voicemail that says, hey, we'll get back to you within a business day, or get one of those emails that say, hey, we'll get back to you within 2 to 3 business days. You want them to immediately be engaged, and you want to strike while the iron's hot. So once they hit your voicemail, missed call text back is going to immediately respond to them as if they were in a text message chat with the founder. So you can send something like, hey there, just missed your call, working on a project right now, how can we help? And from here, let's say Susan is having a problem with her sprinkler system. She can message back and forth with this AI based on the limit that we set earlier. So let's say that's 3 messages or 10 messages. And by the time you get off your phone, all you have to do is pull out your phone, you check the app, and you can see that there is an entire conversation with Susan. So by the time you called her, you already had a conversation with her. You already know her problem. She's already warmed up. She already feels like you're a friend. So the sale becomes that much easier. Now here comes the fun part. We can put this into our website. So Go High Level does allow you to build funnels and websites inside of their platform over here on the left in the sites section. But even if you already have your website or you don't feel like rebuilding your website, we can still use it, and I'm going to show you how. We're going to click over here into chat widget, and we're going to create new chat. We're going to do a live chat, and now this is going to be synced up with our live chat agent that we already have. From here, we can customize everything. So let's say we wanted to make this green, or let's say that we wanted to change the avatar. We can replace this with a different image. Let's say this is our landscaping logo. And from there, we can kind of just test it out, change it up a little bit. But the important thing here is once we have everything set up and we are following all of its instructions, so for here it's saying we have a required field here. I'll just go ahead and turn that off. Now that we have everything, we can get a code for the site. And this is how we're going to install it in our Go High Level website or in any other website. So I have this blurred because I don't want everyone to have this widget, obviously. But basically what you do is you just copy this, and then you can go back into your sites panel. Now that we are in our sites panel, we can come over here. We can add an element, which is a custom code. We just drop that in wherever. I'm going to drop this in and then delete it right afterwards. And then we can click on Open Code Editor. We paste in the code that we have, and now we can go ahead and click Preview. So those are some of the ways that we can use AI in our landscaping businesses in order to generate more leads, respond to them quicker, make a lot more money, and save ourselves many, many hours every single week. If you would like me to build these systems for you and save you the hassle, you can book a call with me in the link in the description. And if you're just here for that free landscaping AI playbook, you can find all of the prompts that we used and a step-by-step walkthrough in that free document. Take care, hope you crush it with your business, and I'll see you in the next one.